So one of the things I really like about working at a radio station is that you get to meet the most interesting people. And today it's the Springboks, the world champions, who are coming through, and they're doing a special press conference where they're going to be wishing Bafana best for Friday's game and for the tournament. Now what's really interesting is that one of the conditions of holding a World Cup, one of FIFA's conditions, is that you cannot run any major sporting events in a host city for a couple of weeks before or a couple of weeks after the event. But they've made an exception. FIFA and the South African Rugby Union sat down and they made an agreement that this Saturday at Newlands in Cape Town the Springboks could play, and they're playing against France, which makes it even more interesting, of course, because the French are playing in the very first game at Cape Town Stadium the night before against Uruguay. Now, traditionally in South African sporting culture, rugby and soccer don't really mix too well. And in fact, I'm not sure that too many rugby enthusiasts were that excited about the World Cup coming here. But all of that has changed, and it changed quite dramatically 2 weeks ago in Soweto when the Super 14 final was held between the Bulls and the Stormers. And 40,000 rugby supporters blew their vuvuzelas and basically heralded the onset of the Soccer World Cup. South Africa has a unique sporting history and an ability to create unity out of diversity. We've seen it before. We saw it with the 1995 Rugby World Cup. We saw it with the Super 14 final in Soweto 2 weeks ago. And we're all hoping that we're going to see it once again over the next 5 weeks.
And all the naysayers have had to, unfortunately, crawl under the blankets and hide because the stadiums are ready, the people are ready, the spirit is high.
Every time I've been to Newlands, I've seen vuvuzelas confiscated and left outside. I just wonder, will they allow them on Saturday? And if they do, would you guys be happy about that?
Well, I think it's certainly been a symbol of what this Soccer World Cup is going to bring. It shows the uniqueness of the energy that South Africans have for sport, and we saw the impact that it had on the semi-final and final. And whether it's allowed to be there or not, if it arrives, I think it'll show that not only are people there to watch the Springboks win, but they're there to watch the Springboks win and support them, and certainly show their support for what's going on around the Springbok game, which is way more important. One day.
The Villiers, Captain John Smith, Vice Captain Victor Manfield, Brian Banner.
The Springboks, South Africa's Rugby World Cup champions, reminding us that beneath the professional exterior, they are just normal South African citizens, and like the rest of us, they are beside themselves with excitement at the prospect of hosting the world's biggest sporting event. So roll on Friday, roll on Soccer City, and roll on the biggest event in our sporting lives.